I bet you didn't know your clean house could be making you sneeze. Weird, right? It feels like a contradiction. We spend so much time scrubbing, sanitizing, and purifying our homes to keep ourselves healthy. But what if, in our quest for a perfectly sterile environment, we've accidentally made ourselves more vulnerable? If you enjoy science explainers, please like and subscribe. If you feel like your allergies are getting worse every year, or if you've suddenly developed them as an adult, you are not alone. This isn't just in your head. It's a global phenomenon, and the reasons why are a fascinating mix of our modern lifestyles, our environment, and even the air we breathe inside our own homes. So, let's break it down. In this video, we're going to explore the problem, the staggering rise in allergies worldwide. Then, we'll uncover the surprising causes, from our immune systems to climate change. And finally, we'll get to the fix. Practical, evidence-based steps you can take to build resilience and find relief. First, the problem. Allergies are skyrocketing. According to the World Allergy Organization, hundreds of millions of people are affected, and the numbers are climbing, especially in developed nations. In some countries, nearly half the population now reports having at least one allergy. This isn't just a minor inconvenience. It's a major public health issue impacting quality of life, work productivity, and healthcare systems. Hay fever, or allergic rhinitis, is one of the most common culprits. Cases have nearly tripled in the last few decades. What was once a seasonal nuisance for a few is now a prolonged battle for many, with symptoms like a runny nose, itchy eyes, and constant sneezing that can last for months. And it's not just hay fever. The prevalence of asthma, a condition often linked with allergies, has also seen a dramatic increase. Asthma triggers are more common, and for many, allergic reactions are the primary cause of their breathing difficulties. This rise is particularly concerning in children, where it's now the most common chronic disease. Beyond our noses and lungs, indoor allergic reactions are also on the rise. This includes reactions to dust, mold, pet dander, and even certain foods and chemicals, leading to everything from skin conditions like eczema to severe life-threatening anaphylaxis. So, what's going on? Why are our bodies suddenly waging war on harmless substances? The answer begins early, in the first moments of life. This brings us to our first major cause, the hygiene hypothesis. This theory suggests that our modern, ultra-clean lifestyles are depriving our immune systems of the training they need. Think of a young immune system as a soldier in training. It needs to learn to distinguish between a real enemy, like a dangerous virus or bacteria, and a harmless civilian, like a pollen grain or a dust mite. This training happens through exposure. When kids play in the dirt, interact with pets, or are around other children at daycare, they encounter a vast array of harmless microbes. These encounters help calibrate the immune system. But in our modern world, kids get fewer germs. We live in sealed, climate-controlled homes, use antibacterial soaps, and often discourage the very kind of messy play that builds a robust immune response. Without this early education, the immune system can become bored, restless, and trigger-happy. It starts to overreact to benign substances later in life. When it encounters something harmless like pollen, it mistakenly identifies it as a dangerous invader and launches a full-scale attack. This attack involves releasing chemicals like histamine, which cause the classic allergy symptoms: inflammation, swelling, and itching. It's a case of friendly fire, and you're caught in the middle. Quick reminder, please like and subscribe for more. But it's not just our immune systems. The world outside is changing too. Our second major cause is climate change, which has created a perfect storm for allergy sufferers. Warmer temperatures, especially in the spring and fall, mean that plants have a longer growing season. This directly causes longer and more intense pollen seasons. Plants that used to release pollen for 4 weeks might now do so for 6 or 8, extending the misery for millions. And it gets worse. Higher levels of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere act like a steroid for pollen-producing plants like ragweed. Studies have shown that more CO2 helps these plants grow bigger and faster, and crucially, produce more pollen per plant. Not just more, but more potent super pollen that seems to be more allergenic. This means higher pollen counts in the air, increasing our daily exposure and the likelihood of a reaction. This effect is amplified in our cities. Urban pollution and indoor factors act as reaction multipliers. Pollutants from traffic and industry, like nitrogen dioxide and ozone, don't just irritate our airways on their own. They can also chemically alter pollen grains, making them even more aggressive. Furthermore, these tiny pollution particles can act like sticky delivery vehicles, carrying pollen deeper into our lungs than it would normally travel, triggering more severe reactions like asthma. Now let's step inside, because our homes can be a major battleground. One of the biggest indoor culprits is the humble dust mite. These microscopic creatures are invisible to the naked eye and thrive in warm, humid environments. They feast on the dead skin cells we shed, making our mattresses, pillows, and carpets prime real estate. It's not the mites themselves we're allergic to, but a protein in their waste products, which easily becomes airborne and worsens indoor allergies and asthma. Another unwelcome house guest is mold. In poorly ventilated or damp areas like bathrooms, basements, or around leaky pipes, mold can flourish. It reproduces by releasing tiny spores into the air. When inhaled, these spores can trigger allergic reactions and significantly increase breathing problems, especially for those with asthma. Maintaining indoor humidity between 40 and 50% is key to keeping both mold and dust mites at bay. Finally, consider the chemicals we willingly invite into our homes. Scented products, from air fresheners and candles to cleaning supplies and laundry detergents, can release a cocktail of chemicals known as volatile organic compounds, or VOCs. While they might smell clean or fresh, these VOCs can act as powerful irritants to the respiratory system, amplifying allergic reactions and making symptoms worse, even if you're not directly allergic to the fragrance itself. Okay, that was a lot of bad news. But here's the good news. Knowledge is power. Now that we understand the causes, we can move to the fix. The goal isn't to live in a sterile bubble, but to build resilience over time and create a smarter, healthier living environment. If this helps, remember to like and subscribe. First, embrace the outdoors. Counteract the hygiene hypothesis by getting outside early and often. This is especially important for children. Let them make mud pies. Let them climb trees. This isn't just play, it's essential immune system training. Introduce varied, friendly microbes back into your life. Spending time in diverse natural environments like parks and forests is a great way to do this. And studies consistently show that children who grow up with pets, particularly dogs, have a lower risk of developing allergies. Their furry friends track in a wonderful diversity of outdoor microbes that help educate the immune system. Inside your home, make ventilation your best friend. Modern, energy-efficient homes are often sealed tight, which is great for your heating bill but terrible for air quality. It traps allergens and pollutants inside. Ventilate your home regularly by opening windows for just 10-15 minutes a day, even in winter, to flush out stale air. Use exhaust fans in kitchens and bathrooms to remove moisture and prevent mold growth. Be strategic about your outdoor time. Track local pollen forecasts using a weather app or website. On days with very high counts, you might want to limit prolonged outdoor activities, especially during peak hours, which are typically midday. Try to schedule your run or gardening for the early morning or late evening when pollen levels are naturally lower. For your indoor sanctuary, consider investing in an air purifier with a true HEPA filter. HEPA stands for High Efficiency Particulate Air, and these filters are certified to capture 99.97% of airborne particles down to 0.3 microns in size. This includes pollen, dust mite debris, mold spores, and pet dander. Placing one in your bedroom can make a huge difference in your sleep quality during allergy season. And remember our mythbuster. Clean does not mean sterile. You can maintain a clean home without waging chemical warfare. Focus on removing allergens, not just disinfecting. Use a vacuum with a HEPA filter to trap dust instead of blowing it around. Wash bedding weekly in hot water to kill dust mites. And opt for simple, unscented cleaning products like vinegar and water whenever possible. Finally, if your symptoms are severe or persistent despite these changes, it's important to talk to your doctor or an allergist. They can help you accurately identify your triggers and develop a personalized management plan, which might include medications or immunotherapy. This video is for informational purposes and is not a substitute for professional medical advice. The rise in allergies is a complex problem, woven into the very fabric of our modern lives, but it's not an unsolvable one. By understanding the interplay between our immune systems, our homes, and our changing planet, we can take smart, proactive steps. It's about finding a new balance, one where our homes are clean but not sterile, and where we are connected to the natural world around us. These small changes can lead to big relief. You can breathe easier. If you found this useful, please like and subscribe.